Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today and welcome to today's webinar hosted by E1 Consulting. I'm Chris Roberts, the Director of Business Development here at E1. And our team and I am thrilled to have you all here. And as we dive into the exciting details of the Workday biannual update. While E1 has been supporting Workday customers for over a decade now, we are thrilled to announce that we're Workday's newest AMS partner. E1 takes great pride in offering deep expertise across implementation, optimization, and ongoing support services. Our mission is to empower organizations like yours to maximize the full potential of Workday, driving innovation and efficiencies tailored to your specific needs. Today's webinar is all about giving you a firsthand look into the key updates and enhancements coming from Workday's 2024 R2 release. Now, whether you're here to ensure a smooth transition for your team or to explore new functionalities that will further streamline your HR and finance operations, we're confident that this session will provide valuable insights. Our team has taken the time to pre-record these topics to make sure that we utilize the time as efficiently as possible. Before we get started, I'd like to again thank everyone for joining today. We understand how critical it is to stay ahead of these updates, and we appreciate the opportunity to help guide you through what's new and impactful. Please feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and we'll make sure to address them during the Q&A session and throughout in chat. Now let's dive in. Awesome. Today's session will primarily introduce you to a range of new automation features that will make your daily tasks much smoother and more intuitive. These enhancements are designed to save you time and reduce manual efforts, allowing you to focus on what really matters. As I mentioned, since we're covering a lot of topics today, these discussions were previously recorded to ensure we maximize our time today. And just for context, here are some key dates around this biannual release for your benefit. And when the recording comes out for this, when we finish the webinar, this slide will be in there as well. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with HCM and recruiting.
Hi everyone, I'm Reshma John. I'm a Workday consultant at E1. I'm certified in HCM recruiting and compensation. Today I'll be walking you through the HCM and recruiting Workday new release features. I'll be starting off with HCM first, and let me share my screen. So this is the first feature, which is maintain change job templates. So Workday now makes the maintain change job template task easy to understand and navigate with a complete redesign of the user interface, making it more intuitive and streamlined. So I have a few screenshots here. So as you can see, there is a change in the user interface of the task. When you access the maintain change job template task, you will be able to see all the configured change job templates on the left. So you can navigate between the existing template and make changes. Also, you can create a new one with the plus add sign that you see on top. So when you go to the existing template, you'll see all section details. You can define the template name. You can give a unique template name. You can select the initiating actions and the reasons for the template. You can define the security group. And on the second half of the template section, you can define the template sections for template and the position fields to display, the sub-processes, and so on. So if you do not do anything, Workday still convert your existing templates to display in the redesigned maintain change job template task. However, you will not see any impact on how your existing change job template functions. And you'll also be able to toggle between different views. You'll be able to toggle to the list view. And with this view, you can see all the configured template, all the configured change job template in the tenant. So that was it for this one. For change job template, we have another feature, which is the new user experience for initiating actions and the multiple reasons. So Workday now enables you to use the simplified user experience, and also you can create the change job template for the below 4 initiating actions, which are change contingent worker details, change job, change location, and request transfer. So I've discussed about how the template has changed, but also like for the initiating action here, Workday has added the new 4 options, which I have just mentioned. When you select one of those options, this option called Enable Enhanced UI for this template that you see on the left will automatically be checked in, and you cannot not select it. For each of these 4 options, you'll have only one template configured for each. Also, you'll notice that you do not see the security group option here. This means that the security is controlled at the business process policy level. And the rest, everything is same. You can configure the template sections and the sub-processes for this particular template. So I put up a before and after screenshot. And with this example of changed location in the new template. So you can see in the after the screenshot, you'll be able to see all sort of information, current information, position, work location. You can input other details when do you want this change to take effect. You can also give other details like position, work location based on what you have configured in the template. And as I mentioned, Workday automatically selects the enabled enhanced UI for this template checkbox for any of the template that includes these initiating actions. But after evaluating the release features or at any point, if you do not want this simplified user experience, you can just make this template inactive and you can delete the template as well. So one important thing to note is that any template you configure for change job or request transfer, it will apply anywhere that those initiating actions are accessible. Then second part of this feature is configure multiple reasons. So now Workday enables you to configure multiple reasons for the new or the existing template that have enabled the enable enhanced UI for this template checkbox selected on the maintain change job template task. So if you have configured multiple reasons, there is one other important point, which is the field that you see here. Why are you making this change? So this would only be visible if you have configured multiple change job reasons. And if you have only configured one reason in the template, you wouldn't be able to see this see this particular field in the new simplified user experience. So what happens if I do nothing? The change of user experience for other initiating actions will remain unchanged. And business benefits for this one is that it enables you to provide a very consistent change of experience for users and configure change of templates to support your organization's specific needs. Then we have configurable address component. So Workday now updates the maintain address component by country task with a new column called vendor address component. So you can use this column to map address component from a third-party vendor to Workday address component for both recruiting addresses and all other addresses that are there in Workday. You can see it in the screenshot here. Also, Workday adds a new collapsible preview section that you see on the right top. That is to show the configured address. It just gives you a preview of that. So the setup of this one would depend on your organization subscription agreement. So if your organization subscription agreement is MSA, this is a 2-step process. You'll have to access the innovation service opt-in task to opt into the global address validation feature. Second, you can access the maintain localization setting task, select the contact information area, and activate global address validation for a country. And there you can select the active checkbox. If your organization subscription agreement is UMSA, you don't have to perform the first step. You can directly go to the maintain localization setting task, select the contact information area, and activate global address validation for a country. And there you can select the active checkbox. So next we have consolidated hire business process. You can now add the below sub-processes to the consolidated template in the configure business process consolidated template task. And the sub-processes, the new sub-processes that you can add are assign employee collective agreement, assign pay group, change org assignments for worker, edit government IDs, edit service dates, payment election enrollment event, service date change. If you want to add rules to your consolidated template, you can add your business processes in the configure rule-based consolidated template task. You can add rules in the rule column, and you can create your existing rules. You can access your existing rules or create a new rule. You can define the business process in the business process type column. So this is how the consolidated version of hire business process would look like. So as you can see, you can enter all the hire details along with the sub-processes details based on what you have configured in the template. And so you can enter all the details here, which gives you a very streamlined experience. And then you can hit submit. Once you submit in the hire business process, consolidated hire business process, if you have review step, it gives a consolidated version to it, which is a read-only version, and the reviewers wouldn't be able to make direct changes to it. So reviewer, once scans all the information, can have the options to approve, deny, send back, or save for later. And if the reviewer is to make some changes, they can do so by accessing this option called make changes, which will take them to the consolidated version and make the edits. So here are a few considerations. So you can submit the consolidated hire business process without adding payment elections, even if you have configured the payment election enrollment event sub-process in the template. And if you have any exit validations that you have created for any of the sub-processes, and if you want them to trigger during hire consolidation, you have to configure them on the hire initiation as well. What happens if I do nothing? You'll see no changes in your tenant. And here are a few business benefits. This consolidated experience helps you streamline the hire process by reducing the manual efforts by great amount. It also enables you to add payment elections for a worker, thereby reducing the admin workload and the likelihood of any sort of payment delays. Next, again, for hire, we have another feature, which is hire employee, additional information and redesign. So Workday 2024 R2 redesigns the whole search for and search result interface on the hire employee task. So when you access the hire employee task, Workday displays these two sections called search for person and search results. So for search for persons, Workday now adds more fields to improve the search criteria, and the search result will give you more details of the former worker or the pre-hire. So as I mentioned, Workday now adds new search criteria in the search for person section. And those fields are date of birth, national ID, previous role details like location, cost center, job profile, manager, supervisory organization. And as I mentioned, for search results, you'll see now more details, more information of the former worker or the pre-hires. And those new information is based on the email, phone number, job profile, location, cost center, hire date, termination date. But again, these information would be displayed or would be visible based on the security access of the user. So it's a bit of setup required. So for the section search for person, if you want to have the fields that are newly released, you can go to the configure optional fields and enable those fields as per your business requirement. You can enable the date of birth, national ID section, cost center, job profile, location, manager, or the supervisory organization. What happens if I do nothing? You'll view the design changes on the search for person interface of the higher employee task. But as I mentioned before, those details would be purely based on the security access that you have. Then we have effective dating enhancements for job profile. With this update, Workday now provides consistency across job profiles by making all fields effective dated, enabling you to report on those changes over time. So with this update, Workday makes effective dating to the below fields, which is skills, skill level, critical job, public job, restrict to country, difficulty to fill, com grade profiles, languages, responsibilities, competencies, trainings, certifications, education, work experience. So now when you report on these job profiles using a specific effective date, for example, the report displays the value for each field as of that effective date. So this is a pretty straightforward one. And the last of the features that we have in HCM is effective dating for service dates. So Workday now enables you to add effective dates to the service date changes. So as you see in the screenshot, in the edit service date task, you can see this new field called effective date. So you can add the effective dates to new service date changes on the edit service dates task. On top of that, Workday now adds a new field called view as of field to the task or to the report called view service dates. So this enables you to report on the service date change for a worker as of a specific date. Third part of this release is that Workday now enables you to correct the existing service date change event for workers. So you can now access the correction action on the service date change business process. The last part of this feature is Workday now also displays the service date change history table, as you can see in the screenshot. So this enables you to see a report of all the service date changes that has happened for the worker. So with this, we have come to an end for the HCM. I'll now be moving on to the recruiting releases. Thank you. Moving on to the recruiting features. The first one, we have candidate home job alerts. So the first few features are about redesigning of the tasks. And for this, Workday now provides a more intuitive design for job alert task. So Workday now enables a side panel for job alert, and those tasks are create job alert and edit job alert. So when you access these tasks, Workday now display this as a side panel, right side panel. The screenshot that you see here is of create job alert, and you can define the job alert name, frequency, category, locations, and so on. Similar to this, you can also access the edit job alert, and all the information you can again put it in the side panel over here. Next, we have candidate home via application redesign. This is to improve the candidate experience. Workday has come up with a more intuitive design for my application task. So when the candidate go to their related action on their job application, they can access the view application view completed tasks, and this would be displayed as a right side panel again with all the information. So the screenshot that you see here is of view application. You can see all details like my information, view work experience, and so on. You can have a similar kind of experience for view completed tasks as well. Also, Workday now updates the below task, which is withdraw job application and delete job application to display as top models, and those won't be appearing as a separate page now. This is again candidate home tasks now. Workday now redesigns the below tasks, home tasks, which is complete questionnaire, take candidate assessments, update candidate US veteran status. This would again come up as a model instead of a separate page. And when a candidate completes these tasks, Workday now display the task confirmation message in the same pop model. To add to this, Workday also support rich text formatting, questions and questionnaire text, incomplete questionnaire task. Now we have a new features related to job application.
I apologize. We seem to be having trouble with the audio piece to it. So we'll come back to recruiting. We're going to go ahead and move forward with time and absence and try to get the audio corrected on that piece. Again, for those that are coming in a little after we started, feel free to add questions in, and we have all the folks that are the experts that recorded these sessions in chat ready to answer any of your questions. So we'll move forward with time and absence and come back to recruiting.
Hello everyone, my name is Gautam. I'm a certified Workday consultant at E1 and responsible for product implementations and AMS support. Today I'm excited to talk about upcoming Workday release 2024 R2 features across time tracking and absence management module. These product features delivered biannually by Workday will provide greater value to your organization and help you adapt in a changing world. Let's dive into a time tracking available items and setup required features as part of every release. However, for this particular release, time tracking features for automatically available items are limited to only reporting functionalities and the fields. So hence, it is considered to be having a set of features to be displayed across this presentation. So we have identified few of the setup required features which would be extremely helpful for the clients to consider when as part of this particular release. The setup required features includes automatically submission of time, entering the time by period, no shows for attendance management, connected experience for the managers on the mobile. The very first feature that we would be talking about is automatically submitting of time. So this replaces the existing feature of auto submit time, where this saves us the time and efforts and increases the efficiency in managing the submission of time by eliminating the multiple schedules of time periods for each period. So we don't need to manually submit for the time for the employees. So we can able to submit the time across all the employees for a particular time entry template. So this particular feature delivers us a new task, which is auto submit time. And this particular task will allow all the schedules to be across a particular time entry template and also have a particular dynamic range of triggering possibilities and try to have a schedule across the whole year, not having per period schedule. So which will try to limit the number of schedules and try to help everyone to achieve that particular commonness of having one single schedule per year. So we also have a report which will try to display reported time blocks for a date range. So this report will try to show up all those reported time blocks for a particular date range to display who has got the time blocks which are approved, not submitted, and submitted. So we can also run this particular report across a particular employees or a particular date range employees. So the next feature is going to be entering the time by period. So with this release, we enable Workday and managers to use the period calendar as their primary time entry method. So we now also enable to include scheduled data on calendar and display information such as holiday events and period indicators. So this particular change is basically impacted across creating of time entry templates, deletion and editing of time entry templates. So when you look at this particular screens, so the previous options are not having this particular drop-down feature for primary calendar feature. So in the time entry template, if you look into that, classic and period, there are two different options that are hovering when you click a drop-down on primary calendar as an option for view. So this particular option, if it is set to period, so then your calendar view is going to change something like this. So this particular view will try to show you the time entry for the complete calendar, but not the period. So this will also bring up the visibility of all the calendar holidays in completed time blocks, pay date indicators, period end indicators, and period lock indicators with a green and red buttons. So if you try to see the hover option on the indicator over there, so that is showing up the pay date indicator, so which will try to help us in identifying the pay date. So if you go and wanting to switch this particular view to a regular classic view, So then you can able to go to actions and say switch calendar. You will be brought up into a periodic calendar, so which was the current one. So the next set of consideration we would try to consider is no-show feature for attendance management. So if you look into this one, so this particular no-show feature will try to be enabled as part of this feature. When you configure this feature, when worker don't check in for their shift, worker will be created with a no-show block on their calendar. So when you click on the block and then the details of the schedule of the shift and the attendance points the worker received due to the no-show, and when the attendance points will expire, so those informations would be displayed. If you look into the picture on the right side, so you will get to see there is a block created for a worker where they have tried to not manage to enter the time for that particular scheduled date. So hence that particular no-show block has been automatically created. So this is the enhanced view. If you try to click on that block, so this is how it will try to show you an attendance block where it will try to show you a no-show as a feature and number of attendance points gathered because of the no-show. So these attendance points are accumulated, and then those accumulated points are going to be considered for disciplinary actions across the employees. So also you can have an option to justify. So managers will have a justify the attendance status feature for Workday employees. And when they wanted to justify that the no-show is because of the medical reason or any particular reason, so they can able to run this task, which is justify time attendance status for worker. So the next feature is going to be connected experience. So this particular experience is available only on mobile phones for managers. So this helps managers quickly resolve daily time exceptions from the mobile application itself. Managers access this task by selecting Add Clock Event from their options menu next to the worker's name on the attendance tab. So this feature is only available for managers and available for both iOS and Android devices. Only available when you have both time tracking and Workday scheduling feature enabled for you. So if you look into this transitional screen, so the very first screen is trying to show you the attendance when it is not checked in. So when you don't have the attendance checked in by the employees, your manager can be able to see who our employees have not checked in based on the schedule. So in the second screen, if you see, that is on top of not checked out. So somebody would have forgotten their checkout or maybe not able to do it because of any other particular reasons. So then they also can be get notified or trying to be populated with that information of employees who has not checked out. So the third screen is trying to show up on top of adding of clock event. Somebody wants to have a clock event to be added or edited on their particular day's entry. So then manager can be able to manage that on behalf of employees. So the last screen is going to show up when you click on add clock event. So the add clock event is bringing up this particular screen to add the time and date on top of the event that you want to add. So, and then you can use whether you want to check in or a checkout feature. So this particular screen is trying to show up with the calling feature that is contacting worker information. So any employee wants to be contacted. So the managers will have a view of contact information hovering on top of their entry. So manager can text or call the workers who have updated their contact information in Workday or set up their work contact information to the public or primary informations. So these are mandatory setups when you wanted this feature to be enabled across the mobile application. So that's about the time and time tracking management. Let's hover into absence management features. So for absence management features as well, we don't have any automatically available options for this particular release. So the available options for absence management for automatically available are only or across this reporting area. So that's why we have tried considering few of the setup considerations for this particular module. So one of them are bulk prorate accruals. So bulk prorate accruals are enabling us to configure the staffing business process to automatically bulk prorate workers in a response to job and collective agreement changes. So this feature will reduce the manual effort of prorating accruals for the workers in response to changes in their jobs or employment conditions. So supporting of bulk operations without launching an exclusive volume of background processing jobs. So this will also optimize the performance of the bulk approvals. Workday add a new bulk automatic approvals adjustment service step, so which will be configured across the business processes like assign employee collective agreement, change job, and collective agreement assignment BPs. So the next setup consideration for the absence module is buy time off. So this is an exclusive feature which will be introduced in 2024 R2. So this feature will try to enable an option for the workers to buy their time off so that they can able to return back to work for an after extended time entry absence that they wanted to have. So Workday delivers the ability to configure time offs that can be purchased so that workers can buy their time off. So there is an exclusive task for this one that is delivered with this release, which is buy time off task. Workday delivers a new buy time off task, and that workers can be used for buying of time. So this feature enables to buy the time off when we needed to pay off the purchased time off or in one or more pay periods. So Workday automatically adjusts the workers' time off balance when time off is bought, saving you the time and support, the effort of this time. So we need to configure the new business time, buy time off business process. So which is a setup consideration for this particular feature. So unless this particular business process is enabled, you will not be able to enable this particular feature. So this is your current screen, with the very first screen, if you see edit time off plan. So edit time off plan when you go to accruals. So in the accruals, you will get to have two additional inputs: allow to buy time off display name. So these are the two additional inputs that are given as part of the current feature. So which is available across the accrual process. Like you can able to create the accrual, and within the accrual, you will get these two options. So buying time off, to configure this, so you need to go to the accrual task as we said before. So, and then you will have the configuration options to time period when the worker can buy time offs, and limit or maximum the quantity of the time offs that they can able to buy. And you can also period it with a maximum limit applies to, and allowable time off increments for the workers to buy. So we also have the feature called time off bought by workers. This is a report. So the report will try to show up all those workers who have bought their time off in a particular pay range or a date range. So this feature will try to help the workers to take the time off, which can be bought for them, and then try to enjoy the benefits of time off that are bought. And also, in the worker profile, you also have an exclusive tab that report can be added on the worker profile. So which is time off bought. So where in every worker, you can able to see what are the time offs that are bought, which are approved successfully, which are in progress, and which are not approved. So those are the setup considerations for absence module. That's all we have for time tracking and absence management module for now. Thank you so much. You have a great working.
Awesome. Thank you, Gotham. In fact, Gotham, we have a question in chat. I'm wondering if you can come on screen with me and answer this one. Awesome, and you might be muted.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, Gotham, you look great.
Yep, perfect.
Awesome. The question is, what is the difference between current and new auto submit time entry features? How does it benefit clients if they adopt it?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, Chris. So the current auto submit time feature actually requiring us to schedule auto submit task for per pay period. So if you typically take a biweekly calendar, we should typically schedule the auto submit of time for 52 periods. So which would be typically a 52 times of a period, which is an exhaustive task for the people who are maintaining the time calendars for scheduling. So however, the upcoming feature is trying to give us a one single schedule, which is based out of a parameter called by time entry template. So this time entry template is basically recognizing all of those those populations which are responsible for the time entry enablements with their eligibility rules in it. So this way we can able to reduce the cost effectiveness and the performance aspect of scheduling the auto submit time. So which saves a lot of performance and processing timelines for time tracking module. I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Thanks, Gotham. I appreciate it. And as we continue to move along here, feel free to put additional questions. Gotham and our fellow leads of these different topics are answering them as they come in. So please continue to submit your questions. With that, we will move right into Gotham's presentation on talent and performance.
My name is Gautam. I'm a certified Workday consultant at E1 and responsible for product implementations and AMS support. Today, I'm excited to talk about upcoming Workday release 2024 features across talent and performance module. These product features, delivered biannually by Workday, will provide greater value to your organization and help you adapt in a changing world. Let's dive into talent and performance module features for this release. Workday delivers two different types of features: automatically available features and setup required features. Automatically available features are those features which are automatically available without any setup considerations and are available in sandbox and production environments automatically by Workday post pre-release timeline considerations for testing and feature review. However, setup required features requiring a setup considerations to be performed across various areas like new domain module enablements, and we are also trying to update an existing product functionalities with the setup requirements. So having said that, so let's move on to the automatically available features. We have total 3 automatically available features for this release, which are considerably to be reviewed, whereas the other automatically available features on the What's New report for this particular release, they are morely on the reporting area. So that's why we are bringing up only those features here to be reviewed, which requires some kind of setup or preview requirements for the feature that needs to be displayed. Whereas setup required items, we have 2 features which are highly recommended for all the clients to have in the talent and performance area. So let's move on to the automatically available features firstly. The first feature is talking about auto save feature for guided experience employee reviews. So here Workday delivers a save button feature, which is replacing a save for later button and providing a save functionality on top of that particular button. Having said that, so this particular button is not merely changing the wordings called save for later in the front screen of the guided experience employee review section. However, the behind the button there is a save option has been enabled, so you can continue to work on your review without having to reopen the saved event. So autosave is only available within the guided experience employee review template for desktop users. The background process runs every 90 seconds to support this particular features. So having said that, autosave feature is not available across acknowledgement and review and submit areas. So this is your guided experience screen where you can go to guided editor when you are trying to do an employee reviews for self-evaluations. So when you go into that, so when you try to click on save for later button, so you will be brought up with this particular screen to continue where I left option. So this feature is an additional feature that is coming up for this particular release, which will help us to continue to work on where we have saved it for later purpose. So the next feature we would be talking about today is employee review started field on view employee review template report. Workday updated the view employee review template report by replacing the drill down in employee review started field with a count of number of reviews that uses on the template. So as I try to show you on the screen here, so the employee review started number will try to show up a number of employees that started their review for this particular template. So that will try to provide us the quick count on employees that are using this template, and we can able to consider not changing this template once the review has been started. So the next automatically available feature will be on top of the organizational goals. So Workday delivered the show organizational goal description field checkbox in the maintain goal setup task. So this particular consideration will be giving you a checkbox on maintain goal setup area. So this particular checkbox will try to give us an additional descriptional field showing up on top of the goal setup area. So this will help the employees to understand what is the description of the goal of an organization, and which will help the review process more granular and help the organization to perform the reviews. So the next setup required features. The setup required features, the first option is goal user experience redesigning multi-management of the goals. Workday 2024 R2 continues to enhance the goal experience by providing ability to create, delete, edit, review, and approve multiple goals at once using goal redesigning feature. So if you see that the current screen from the left, so it is trying to be our older view on the My Goals area. So whereas the My Goals area has been populated with a new button, which is Manage Goals. So this Manage Goals button will bring us to this particular section where you can add a goal, edit an in progress goal, or view a completed goal at the same single time without going back and forth. So this saves us a considerable amount of time when we are trying to manage goals in the employee area or a managerial view. So the next setup consideration will be mass populate worker profiles with skills. Workday delivers a new mass populate worker profile skills task, so which is actually secured across setup, skills, and experience domain that enables us to mass populate worker profiles with the skills. So this task enables us to choose the skills which we want to populate based on the possible sources like explicit skills for worker primary job profiles, suggested skills based on the worker's primary job profiles, suggested skills based on workers' user profile. So this particular task, once it is run, the changes cannot be undone. Why is so? Because this is a mass operation management which will be run across the organizational area. And also, so this particular mass population applies to all the workers across your organization who meets the criteria of your organization, where you cannot run this mass operation who for a particular employee or a set of employees per your organization. So having that as a limitation, so we need to reconsider using this particular feature when it's coming up to the mass population. So this particular setup cannot be done on a single entity or a resource. So that's all we have for talent and performance features. Thank you so much and have a great workday.
Awesome. Thanks, Gotham. We have two more questions. If we can bring Reshma up and Gotham to answer two questions. Gotham, while we have you, let's start with a question with you, and then we'll follow up with Reshma. Gotham, the question is no show block on calendar. How does this feature used across performance modules for disciplinary actions? Please elaborate.
Oh, yeah, sure. So we can configure attendance points feature across the no block entries, no show block entries that helps in adding up the points whenever employee misses the time entry and accounts for no show. So in the performance module, we can set up disciplinary actions based on the attendance maximum points reached. So we can also set the attendance points to expiry in the time entry setup. So even after the time entry administrator or a manager justify the missed time, points are recorded and will still continue to count for the performance evaluation criteria. So having said that, so we were going to maintain those points in a discretion of disciplinary actions that you wanted to take across the employees. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you for elaborating on that. And then Reshma, the other question that we had was regarding pay groups. I currently have action steps for assigned pay group, edit government, and change org assignments in my hire business process. Should these steps be removed now as they are set in the consolidated configuration?
So hi, so to answer that, This is like any other consolidated template. For the consolidation to work, you need to have it in the consolidated template and also in the business process flow. Having said that, it doesn't it won't re-trigger the steps, so we are good there. So this is for how the consolidation works. You need to have it in both the places. So we are good there.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you both. We will jump right into compensation with Karam. Let me pull that up. And just as I'm doing this, for everybody that wasn't here in the beginning, these have been pre-recorded to make sure that we're covering all of the topics in a timely manner. And I again apologize for the first one cracking up. We're still working to address that. But here is compensation.
Everyone, my name is Karam Singh, and I'm a certified Workday HCM Pro consultant here at E1. Today, I'm excited to walk you through the latest core and advanced compensation features introduced in Workday's 2024 R2 release. These new enhancements are designed to streamline our processes, improve efficiency, and provide even greater flexibility in managing compensation. The first feature we are going to discuss is amount and assigned field in compensation. This is more specifically for MBT structure, where we establish a primary. This feature is specifically designed for MBT, managed basis total structure, where we establish a primary compensation basis that all percentage-based plans are calculated from. Previously, when adding a percentage-based plan, Workday would automatically calculate current and proposed values and display the assigned amount in the details. However, to reduce the potential confusion, Workday has now removed assign amount field. With this update, any amounts for plans within the MBT structure will only be recalculated during a specific events, such as when we are updating a primary compensation basis or adding an amount-based plan. This change streamlines the process and ensure that calculation remain clear and accurate and remove all the confusions. This feature is automatically available, and this feature is only for MBT structure. For non-MBT structure, there is no impact. As you can see in this screenshot, before this release, when we propose or when we change any percentage-based plan percentage, Workday shows two fields. One is amount field and another is assigned field. Amount field shows the value of current amounts, and assigned field shows the value of proposed amounts. This was a little confusing while creating a transactions. So Workday has eliminated these two fields. And now on the right hand side, we can see after release, these fields are no longer visible. The next feature is collective agreements in job requisition. Workday has introduced the pre-hire collective agreement sub-process for the job requisition business process as well. Additionally, a collective agreement details section is now available within the job requisition template, and we can add collective agreement details while creating a job requisition, which also enhance and will streamline the compensation section by enabling the system to pull relevant plans and automatically defaulting to those created based on collective agreement fields. This feature is automatically available. In this screenshot, we can see before, pre-hire collective agreement business process is only allowed for offer and employment agreement as a sub-process. But after this release, now pre-hire collective agreement details business process is available for job requisition change, evergreen requisition, and evergreen requisition change as a sub-process. Next is compensation plan assignment business object. Workday has enhanced the compensation plan assignment business object and is planning to retire the compensation plan assignment snapshot business object. It's important to note that calculated fields and reports based on compensation plan assignment snapshot object may be impacted by this change. So Workday recommends migrating all the calc fields and associated with this object. To assist with identifying dependencies, Workday has provided a compensation plan assignment migration report. which details the usage of calculated field and report linked to snapshot object, and which will help us to migrate all the calculated field and reports. This feature is automatically available. The next feature is statement visible column. In the recent release, Workday introduced the compensation statement visibility feature, allowing manager to make statements available to employees even before the effective date. To ensure this feature, Workday has added a report field called statement visible in two Workday delivered report. One is compensation review statement and another is view compensation review statements, which indicates whether a statement is visible to employees prior to effective date. This enhancement is particularly useful in scenarios where some employees under same manager may have their statement visible before the effective date, while others do not. The statement visible field provides valuable insight into these variations, and this feature is automatically available. The next feature is improve the manager experience for change job for compensation page. Workday has improved the user interface for the compensation page when performing change of task. The new UI is more user-friendly, making it easier and faster to navigate. In addition, Workday has integrated machine learning to provide smart recommendations for compensation plan field when adding a new assignment for workers. This feature helps us make more accurate and informed compensation decisions. And it is a setup required. And this screenshot, we can see when we are maintaining change job template, we have to check the box which says enable enhance UI for this template. And if we do not check this box, there is no change in the compensation page UI. Once we enable this, Workday will automatically make a new UI for compensation page. Prior to this change or before making this change, on the left hand side we can see the compensation page look like this, which is guidelines, salary, hourly, allowance plan in one row. After the change, the UI will look like on the right hand side screenshot, where we can add a plan assignment, and once we click on add a plan assignment, the new window pop up on the right hand side prompting what kind of compensation plan type we want to add. So this is a new feature, new UI for compensation page only while doing a change job. The next feature is inactivating compensation steps. Workday has introduced a valuable new feature that allows us to make individual compensation steps as inactive as of specific effective date. This enhancement is particularly useful because it automates the process of skipping inactive steps during automatic step progression, and these steps are no longer selectable during compensation events. By making step as inactive, we can eliminate the need for complex workarounds such as creating new grades profile or adjusting employee assignment when step change. This not only reduces manual effort, but also helps prevent accidental selection of outdated steps, thereby improving data accuracy and overall efficiency. This step is automatically available as inactive column will be available while creating or editing compensation grade steps, as we can see on this screenshot. The next feature is percent-based commission plan. Prior to 2024 R2 release, we were not able to create any commission plans based on percentage. But after this release, now we can configure percentage-based commission plans. And the only thing which we need to keep in mind is that we cannot still use percent-based commission plans in comp review process. This is setup required feature, as we need to create a plan, percent-based plan, in order to use compensation percent-based plans. The next feature is rounding option for FTE proration. R2 release introduces a feature that simplifies meeting rounding requirement for part-time workers. Rounding rules can now be directly applied to salary plans and are effective when a worker is not at 100% full-time equivalent. This feature is significant time saver as it eliminates the needs to manually round salary plans value before processing them in payroll. By automating this process, Workday ensure that the value are consistent between payroll and compensation, reducing errors and improve efficiency. This feature require a setup because the setup is within the plan itself. When we are creating salary plan, as you can see on the right hand side, we got now option of FTE, apply FTE percentages. We need to check that box and we need to create a rounding rule in order to create rounding rules for particular employees. The next feature is segmented security for non-funded plans. Prior to this release, we were only able to create segment-based securities for non-funded plan, which are merit, bonus, and stock. But with this release, Workday has introduced a feature that significantly improves the security for non-funded compensation plans. We can now enable segmented security, allowing us to restrict access to specific non-funded compensation plan assignments to designated security groups. This enhancement makes it much easier to secure sensitive compensation information, ensuring that only authorized personnel has access. By using segmented security, we can now better protect our organization data and maintain confidentialities. It requires setup, and prior to this release, we can see we were only able to create segment security only for bonus, merit, or stock plans. But after this release, now we can create a segmented security for any kind of compensation plan. The next feature is stock custom calculation. Workday's 2024 R2 release update introduced greater flexibility in managing stock awards during a compensation review process. We now have the ability to add custom calculations such as rounding directly to our grid configuration or stock awards. This applies whether the awards are granted in currencies, amounts, or percentages. This enhancement streamlines the processes, giving us more control and precision over how stock awards are calculated and displayed, ultimately making the compensation review process more efficient and tailored to our organization's need. This is setup required because as we need to create a custom calculation under compensation review option for stock, merit, or bonus. As we can see in this screenshot, prior to this release, we were only able to create bonus or merit calculation for currency, numeric, or percentage values. But after this release, now we can create stock currency, stock numeric, or stock percentage calculated fields as well. The next feature is update stock grant scalability. Prior to this release, we were not able to use mass operation management tasks to update the stock grant at large number for all the employees. But with this release, now we can create a report and we can use a new operation type, which allows us to add grant price, grant date, board approval status, and other information for all the employees at once. This is setup required as we need to enable the security as well as we need to create a report to use the mass operation management. That's all for the core and advanced compensation feature in 2024 R2 release. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Karam. We have fixed the challenge with the recruiting piece, and we're going to go back to that. Pulling it up now. Share this with you all.
Moving on to the recruiting features. The first one, we have candidate home job alerts. So the first few features are about redesigning of the tasks. And for this, Workday now provides a more intuitive design for job alert task. So Workday now enables a side panel for job alert, and those tasks are create job alert and edit job alert. So when you access these tasks, Workday now display this as a side panel, right side panel. The screenshot that you see here is of create job alert, and you can define the job alert name, frequency, category, locations, and so on. Similar to this, you can also access the edit job alert, and all the information you can again put it in the side panel over here. Next, we have candidate home My Application redesign. So this is to improve the candidate experience. Workday has come up with a more intuitive design for My Application task. So when the candidate go to the related action on their job application, they can access the view application, view completed tasks, and this would be displayed as a right side panel again with all the information. So the screenshot that you see here is of view application. You can see all the details like my information, view work experience, and so on. You can have a similar kind of experience for view completed task as well. Also, Workday now updates the below task, which is withdraw job application and delete job application, to display as a pop-up models, and those won't be appearing as a separate page now. This is again candidate home tasks now. Workday now redesigns the below task, home tasks, which is complete questionnaire, take candidate assessments, update candidate US veteran status. This would again come up as a pop-up model instead of a separate page. And when candidate completes these tasks, Workday now display the task confirmation message in the same pop-up model. To add to this, Workday also support rich text formatting for questions and questionnaire text in complete questionnaire task. We have a new release features related to job application. So the first one is evergreen requisition for copy job application. As you know, prior to this, Workday wouldn't enable you to copy a job application to and from an evergreen requisition. With this release, now Workday enables you to copy a job application to and from an evergreen requisition. And Workday would now also display the copy to another job requisition action from the candidate job application grid from an evergreen requisition, as you can see below in the screenshot. Then we have copy job application related action. You can now copy a job application to another job requisition directly from a candidate profile or a job application by selecting the related actions. And over there, you can go to job application and select copy job application. Also, when you access this particular task, if the candidate has multiple job applications, Workday will give you an option to select which job application are you referring to. Another one to job application is the job requisition prompt. So when you access this particular task, copy to another job requisition, Workday will now display the new prompt categories, which are suggested, job requisitions by manager, job requisitions by support, job requisitions by location, job requisitions by recruiter, or evergreen requisitions. The one that you see as suggested, it includes the job requisition that the user is the primary recruiter or hiring manager for. Also, Workday updates the delete job alert task, and now this is displayed as a pop-up model and not as a separate page. This is a quick one. Moving on to the next. Then we have a few release features related to external career site job applications. The first one is job application accessibility and user experience. So this is related to the errors and alerts, which is displayed on top of the page. Now all the errors along with the alerts are also displayed on top of the page, and the field level errors would still be there. Then the header that stay on top of the page that you can see here on the left side of the screenshot, autofill with resume, my information, my experience. When the candidate used to scroll down, it used to stick around. So now to avoid that sort of distraction while filling the job application, this would now stay on top and it wouldn't scroll down while the candidate scroll down the page. Then the footer that you see on the right side of the screenshot that you see like follow us, LinkedIn and all that logo, that would come below the buttons of back and save and continue. Also, for clarity, Workday now updates the confirmation pop-up display after the candidate submits the job application. So the text has been changed from congratulations to application submitted. This is to avoid any sort of confusions. Then it's related to the candidate home account. So the first page of the apply flow, now Workday has integrated this create account sign-in page, as you can see in the screenshot. This is because candidate view this step as part of the application process and not as a separate process. Also, as you can see, Workday now defaults the sign-in page to the create page here. So if a candidate already has an account, they can click onto the sign-in option, but the first page would be displayed as create account page. Next, we have updates to the website section. So Workday has now updated the website section, wherein previously in the URL section, you had to write the whole address, including the HTTP or HTTPS. Now, if you submit with, for example, www.google.com, if you submit it and come back, you'll observe that Workday has updated HTTP. The next is default country on my information page. So when an external candidate applies to a job, Workday now defaults the country field in my information page based on the following priority order. The first is the country from the address information saved on the in-progress application, draft, or agency application. The second is the country from the candidate's resume if they are applying via resume. Third is the country from the candidate's LinkedIn profile if they are applying via LinkedIn. Fourth is the country locale of the candidate's browser language settings. Then the job posting's primary location. The last is a selection of the default country for name and address prompt in the edit and setup system task. Previously, if it was defaulted based on the primary location of the job that the candidate was applying to, if they weren't applying with a resume or previous job application. Next, we have removed resume bundling limit. With this update, Workday now removes the limit on the number of resumes you can bundle at once. Earlier, there was a cap of 100 for resume bundling. Then we have review application page. Workday now adds a new review application button to the application overview page that takes applicants to the new review application page. From this page, applicants can submit the application or make any additional changes. And the page would display all the information that the applicant has entered on the previous pages, the terms and conditions sections, and any error message if the applicant attempts to submit the application with errors or missing required fields. So there's a few consideration here. So the review application page would display with the default page label and without a description. So if you want to add a description or change the default page label, you can access to edit application configuration task and update the review application section there. Then we have undo move for multiple candidates. Workday now delivers a new mass undo move job application task that you can use to return multiple candidates to their previous stage and step of the job application business process. You can use this task using the new undo move action in the candidate list grid. Next, we have job description generation on job requisition. This is a very interesting feature and it's a setup required one. With this release, Workday delivers job description generation on job requisition, enabling you to quickly create job description using AI. And Workday uses the following data points to generate job description, which is job posting title, company name, and skills. Few of the benefits are with job description generation on job requisition, it enhances recruiting efficiency by quickly generating consistent and high quality job description. It also saves time by reducing the manual effort and ensures all important job details are included that attract right candidate. So this is a screenshot. So while creating job job requisition, you'll have this job description section wherein you can see this generate with AI selection. And once you click it, you can see how it generates all the details in the job description section with the data points that we just discussed in the previous slide. So this looks very interesting, and also Workday adds the generate with AI button on the job description field on the following task, which is create job rec, edit job rec, create evergreen requisition, edit evergreen requisition, create confidential requisition, and edit confidential requisition. The setup would again depend on the organization subscription. If your organization subscription service agreement is MSA, you must enable this feature through Innovation Service. If your organization subscription service agreement is UMSA, this feature is automatically available. So that's about it for HCM and recruiting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Resma, and thank you, team, for correcting the audio. Glad to get that piece in this webinar. We are going to move right into benefits with Derej. Let me pull that up and share. There we go. This is benefits with Derej.
Hi, my name is Dheeraj Mantina. I'm a Workday consultant at E1. Today, I'm excited to walk you through the latest Workday benefit features introduced in 2024 R2 release. These enhancements are designed to improve efficiency and user experience. There are two kinds of features that will be released for every release. One is automatically available features, and the second one is setup required features. Let's start with the automatically available feature. So the first one we are going to talk about is benefit elections user experience redesign. Workday have updated the benefit elections page from grid layout to more modern card view. The new layout is similar to what workers see in the election events. The new cards framework provides quick glance view at a greater variety of information with a more organized experience for your employees when they manage their benefits. Workday updated the workers view of their current benefit elections from the grid to the card format in these locations. The benefit election tab in the benefits and pay hub, and the benefits tab in the worker profile, and the current benefit elections page. Now let us see that in action. As you can see, Workday have updated the layout of the benefit elections page, transforming it from traditional grid view to a more modern card layout. The new layout is similar to what a worker sees during an enrollment event, creating consistent experience for the user. Similar to enrollment, the cards are organized into three sections. As you can see, healthcare and accounts, insurance and retirement, and additional benefits. There are more elections for a section that fit on the screen. You can view the remaining cards via the left and right arrows. At the top of the page, you can see the total cost of your benefits, the total cost of your benefits of your employer, as well as the amount of benefit credits that you have left. Keep in mind, you can control the visibility of the cost fields via the task maintain benefits coverage types. There is one card for each active section. To view more information that is displayed on a single card, select View Details. The additional information window shows the employee's unique election-related information on the left and the plan level data on the right. You have the option to view the former page layout by selecting the View as Grid button on the top of the page, and it will take you back to the former page layout, and you can export and download your benefit elections in the grid format. Let's move on to the next feature. The next feature is benefit credit offsets for unused plan credits. With 2024 R2 release, Workday enables you to set up offsets from unused plan credits, which lets employees use leftover plan credits to reduce costs associated with their benefit elections during an enrollment event. Administrators can easily specify how unused plan credits offset plan costs. Workers also can easily use the unused credits, offsets, and cost of their benefits. Workday deliver a new grid called source coverage type for unused plan credits on the Benefit Credits tab of the Edit Benefit Group task. You can select coverage tabs from which you can apply the unused credits. Workday also enhanced the report fields for enrollment event business objects so that you can report on unused credit offsets. Now let's explore this feature. We'll start with an existing benefit plan that I've set up previously. For example, it's called Medical Cigna PPO, and associated healthcare rate to the plan. Within the plan rate, notice that I have configured benefit credits based on the target. On the benefit groups, you have a benefits credit tab. It should be enabled remaining credits checkbox. Turning this on will enable you to use the new feature. You will also notice a new grid. The grid allows you to configure the coverage type from which you would like Workday to source the unused plan credits. In this example, I'm anticipating unused credits to be available from the medical benefit plan that we previously reviewed together. Next, using the offset deductions with benefit credits grid, you can configure the coverage types whose cost can be offset using the unused plan credits. For this demo, I have configured the grid with the dental, a healthcare coverage type, basic group life and insurance coverage, and commuter spending, as you can see in the offset deductions with benefit credits. Skipping ahead, let's see this in action through the experience of a test employee. So we are in a new hire benefit elections page for an employee who just onboarded. He or she can view her total credits as well as remaining credits on the event. This informs her of the unused credit value. She next enrolls in a medical plan by clicking on that enroll button. As she makes her selection, she observes the remaining credit value change. You can see the projected total credits are 200 and remaining credits are $110. She next enrolls in basic group life insurance and then in commuter spending. With that, she has utilized all her benefits. On the review page, he or she notes the net cost after credits displayed on the selected benefits grid. She notes that medical, dental, and basic group life insurance selection costs are fully offset, while the commuter cost has partially reduced. She further reviews the cost offset grid that provides her with a detailed breakdown of the credits used towards each election, and the total benefit cost grid offering a clear view of cost before and after credits. The total credits used on the total remaining credits. He or she goes ahead and submits her enrollment event. Post submission, the benefit statement reflects all the adjustments as well. Now let's move on to another setup required feature called benefits messaging. With Workday 2024 R2, you can now send workers messages related to their benefits and open enrollment reminders via email, SMS, and push notifications. It greatly enhances the notification creation process for benefits administrators whose employee responsiveness and contributes to higher open enrollment participation rates. To keep in mind, it is only available in United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. Let's look at a demonstration to see how it works. Workday enables a new task called Send Benefit Messages tasks. We can access the Send Benefits Messages task. On the right side in the workers prompt, you can search for the workers to whom you are going to send a message. And for the specific notification category, benefit notifications, email, mobile, push notification, SMS have been enabled as the communication channels as per the notification routing rule created earlier. And you can still unselect any of these contact methods you're not going to use. For email branding, you can select a notification template created for this specific notification type from the list. And you can also select a message template to load the pre-crafted content. On the left-hand side, you can now edit the message and even insert worker series for SMS, email, and mobile push notifications. I'm going to use the first and last name serif for employee's name. After reviewing and editing the message, you can also click the Review Recipients button to see if the workers have enabled any of the contact methods for receiving messages. Click back to message once you're ready, hit Send Message. Lastly, we'd like to show you the enhancements Workday has made to the Send Open Enrollment Reminders task. On the Details view page of the specific Open Enrollment event, select the Send Open Enrollment Reminders action. To determine the recipient population, you can use the enrollment status prompt to look for workers with their open enrollment in a specific status. Otherwise, it will send a message to all the workers included in this open enrollment event. I'm going to send a reminder to those who haven't started on their open enrollment. You can see the notification category as open enrollment for benefits, and contact methods we have enabled for email, mobile push notification, and SMS. And email branding is a Workday standard template that we have created earlier in the configuration phase, and a message template, which is named as OE reminder. After you review all these, you can click send message, and message will be sent as part of open enrollment reminders. Let's move on to a next feature called knowledge base articles for benefit plans. It is a set of required features. So searching for your answers to your benefit questions has been made easy by Workday Help. Workday Help is an extension of Workday HCM. With Workday Help, you can help your employees find the information they need faster. When employees have an HR question or benefits related question, Workday simplifies their journey by providing information that's accessible and easy to understand. Workday Help allows you to create, organize, and maintain HR knowledge in a system your team already utilizes to enhance productivity. Within the benefits function, this makes it easier to share information about your benefit programs and manage their benefit inquiries through self-service and case management. Workday also allows admins to link benefit plans and knowledge-based articles. Let's move on to the demo. This employee wants to know how much her deductible is, and she is met with no return results. So, as you can see, this article has been predefined, the Cigna PPO Silver 2024, by the benefits admin. And when this employee has searched for her deductible, it sends her to an article that was predefined. She's returned with a knowledge-based article that answers her question. Search in Workday is getting more and more intelligent, and the more information that's stored in Workday, the more information that can be written to employees. In order to link knowledge-based articles to a benefit plan, you can edit the existing benefit plan, add the related published article, relate with the field-related articles. Linking articles to benefit plans allows admins to better organize articles, and in future, enhancements will result in more accurate answers being surfaced to employees. Now let's move on to the final feature called Worker Wellbeing Profile and Program Cards. The Worker Wellbeing Profile allows users to select well-being attributes that are relevant to them, similarly to how the skills task works today. Using your selected interests, you can report on aggregate data, giving insight into what is most important to your employees. Further extend the feature by tagging benefit program cards with the interests you have configured. You can derive additional insight about which tagged cards have the most engagement and improve the quality of your employee programs. The Workday transition these worker well-being options from opt-in to automatically available set of required feature. The maintain benefits well-being interest task so that you can configure well-being categories and interests. The well-being interest profile so the workers can select and update the well-being topics in which that they have an interest. The report fields all benefit program cards, well-being interest, enable benefits program cards, well-being interest, and workers well-being interest will help you to report on this data. Let's see how these cards appear in various locations on the home page. Let's start with the worker profile. From the cards, you can add or remove the interests from those interests configured in the maintain task. Now let's view the cards in action in the Benefits and Pay Hub. The location of the card in the Benefits and Pay Hub overview section can be modified using the tasks Maintain Hubs for proper security. And lastly, you can view the Tool Experience card under the Recommended for You section on the home page. Program cards can now be tagged with well-being interests. Program cards can now be tagged with well-being interest means when a card is tagged with a well-being interest and the worker has also added the interest to their profile, they will see the interest displayed on the card. This creates a connection between the well-being profile on the program cards and indicates the worker that it might be something they're interested in learning more about. Analytics can be derived on which aspects of well-being are most important to your employees via the report benefits well-being interest aggregated data. In addition to showing what aspects of well-being are most important to your employees, the report displays how many program cards you have related to each interest. This allows more insight into what programs to invest in. The end of the feature, workers' well-being profile and program cards. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. We have just 2 sections left here. We're going to give some time to Cody, who is going to come on live with me and discuss the changes to reporting. And then we have an exciting short hot seat discussion about Extend. And then we'll go to that point. Cody, the time is yours.
Okay, give me one moment here. Okay. So, share my screen. For reporting, I'm just going to give a brief overview of a couple of features here, as most of the new ones are relatively minor. However, the 2 I'd like to speak about here are, for starters, the format text calculated field has received a new option, replace delimiter. This will allow you to declare a specific character within a calculated field text string that you would like to replace with another, such as you see here, replacing a comma with a space. And for custom report outputs, standard report outputs, really any kind of report, you now have the ability to select a set of columns that you would like to freeze so that they do not move as you are scrolling through the report output. So if you have, for example, an employee ID, first name, last name at the very start of a report, and you would like to keep those on screen while viewing the rest, you can now do so by simply dragging them into this section here. Other than that, we have a variety of new features that are being updated and added regarding worksheets, composite reports, and discovery boards. As stated, I will not be going over these at this time, but we do have resources that are available by request. Other than that, I will hand things back over to Chris now.
Awesome. Thanks, Cody, for that quick overview. We will have just like I said, a quick, we call it a hot seat interview with our Extend practice lead, Mahesh. This is Matthew and Mahesh, who are both E1 principals. Mahesh is our Extend lead, and Matthew oversees our APJ practice. So I will turn the time over to them.
Good evening, Mahesh. How are you?
I'm doing good, Matthew. How are you?
Not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. So we are here to talk about Extend. And over the last few months, I've been hearing you say that Workday Extend is a game changer. So to start with, I would like you to tell our audience what exactly is Workday Extend.
Sure. Well, to put it very briefly, I would say Extend is a Workday platform to build new functionality within Workday. And when I say new functionality, it could mean custom screens, custom business processes, business objects to hold data, custom security domains, and having the ability to tie all these together using your own business logic and create Extend applications. And these apps are available for your users within Workday. And the beauty of all of this is that it becomes part of the foundational one platform approach for reporting, and it's part of your configurable security framework. That's what Extend is.
You have been very bullish, saying that this is a game changer. Is there a reason for your attitude to be very bullish?
I would maybe rephrase it slightly as I'm cautiously bullish, because there is a lot of pent-up demand for custom solutions and applications from customers who have been using Workday for years and possibly even a decade. And many reasonable business requests that weren't previously possible in Workday are now achievable with Extend. And this creates an environment with a lot of opportunity to address all that pent-up demand. And that's why I'm bullish.
And why cautiously bullish now?
Cautious bullish because all these things are now possible with Extend doesn't mean that customers should just jump in and implement them all. There needs to be a thorough discussion internally and with partners to determine if a solution is a good fit for Extend. They should consider alternative solutions to make sure that anything that's in Workday has already been considered. Or if maybe there's another solution that can solve a problem. Maybe they have a different application where they can get the problem solved and integrate with Workday. So after evaluating these options, I still feel that there is a lot of potential for Extend to solve a lot of business use cases. But the fact that these considerations needs to be applied before jumping into Extend is why I say cautiously bullish.
Interesting. Now, over your journey on Extend, you would have come across various interesting use cases. What is a use case that caught your attention?
Attention, if you say like the most interesting use case to me was the situation where one of our customers was facing a significant challenge in managing invoices from thousands of suppliers. And each of the suppliers had their own format for invoice, and many of them even had handwritten ones. And they needed a solution to streamline this process and ensure accurate data entry across multiple financial systems. And this customer has more than one financial systems, not just Workday. So we developed this supplier invoice portal that interacts with the third-party AI-powered OCR service provider. And they have this advanced AI capabilities to read through the invoices and learn from the supplier on how to read their invoice. And our portal applied some fundamental validations to cross-check numbers of POs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we built an application that interacted three-way with the suppliers to enable them to submit invoices with this third-party OCR provider to have a very sophisticated optical character recognition system and the ability to push the invoices into multiple financial systems, and in the end giving the ability to both the suppliers and Workday users one place to track the progress of these invoices and their payments as well in just one application. It was really personally very interesting to me because of the number of moving pieces here, and more importantly, the significant business value we were able to add to the client with this project.
Sounds exciting and challenging. A lot of our audience here are new starters to Extend, and hence, for the new starters, what should they watch out for?
Honestly, it's the inertia that they should watch out for. I've interacted with many customers who have purchased Extend, some haven't, but have had valid use cases that could be resolved by an Extend solution. However, they are often reluctant because they are not sure how this Extend app will look like, what is possible, what is not. And this perception of Extend as the black box needs to be like actively addressed by technology leaders at the customer side. And that, I think, is what newcomers should look out for, getting rid of the black box mentality and embracing Extend, finding out what it can do and taking it to solve their problems.
So it should jump in. And we did talk about a lot of things that Extend can deliver and do for you, for clients. But what are some of the limitations?
Many of the limitations are very technical, and if I get into that, it'll really push the conversation into the weeds. But at a very high level, I'll give some examples. For example, you cannot design a page that you plan to expose to any user outside Workday. So no real external portal ideas. The migration framework is a little bit sophisticated right now, in the sense that depending upon the type of change you are making to your application and depending upon which environments you are moving from and to, and the time of the week you are making the migration, the move could be an instantaneous migration, or it could take as long as a week to get that code from development to production. So that migration framework is a slight limitation in terms of agile development. But other than that, customers usually wrongly expect that Extend might help them modify an existing Workday page to do something. Extend doesn't do anything like that. Even though I'm saying this as a response to limitations, many of these are not really limitations. These are there by design, and more than limitations, there are very carefully placed guardrails on the framework to ensure just because we can develop stuff, the ecosystem doesn't get into haphazard development.
Yep, fair enough. That makes sense. It's a considered approach, is what I would think it is. Now, with a lot of our audience here again would be wanting to trying to convince their management on how they can get onto the Extend journey. Any tips that you have for them on how they can convince their management?
It aligns with my previous answers. Basically, educate yourself thoroughly And when I say thoroughly, it doesn't mean you need to be able to develop the Extend app yourself and deploy it. No. But what Extend is, what can be done, what's not, what are the other customers doing, that sort of education, so that you know what you're asking for and learn about the platform's capabilities, engage with the partner to brainstorm and validate your scenarios, and if possible, maybe even involve the partner in building your case too. Another point to mention is that if you're a technical person building up this case, make sure you have a business partner who will give functional insight into that idea and how to package it and present it and what are the angles to think about. And conversely, it applies the other way too. If you're a functional person building up your case, have some technical perspective, bring someone technical and partner with them. What the key is just to blend functional and technical inputs to build a strong and justifiable business case.
I think to add to that, what I've seen is a lot of clients looking at it from a return of investment perspective, where you look at the cost for implementing and the justification or the benefit realization, which can be sometimes obtained by decommissioning a system or a process. And if you put those numbers side by side, and then those numbers would speak normally for themselves. So yeah, look, that's what I would like to add there. Anything else from your perspective there, Mahesh, on that?
No, I think that's fair enough. Business leaders always like to take decisions on numbers, and just like you made, hey, come up with how you can quantify the impact this business case is going to make. Maybe like the examples you're giving, like maybe it frees up your team's time, maybe it reduces the number of errors that are made over the year, or like you are saying the license cost examples. So it could be any of that. So when you just try to get a business case justified, go with the numbers. It helps you.
Look, I think we both can keep talking till the cows come home, but I think in the interest of time, we need to call it a day. It has been a pleasure talking to you, Mahesh, as always. Thank you. For all the audience here, if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to Mahesh or myself or the wider team, and we'll be more than happy to help you in your Extend journey. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you, Matthew and Mahesh. In closing, let me share my screen. I know many of the folks that are on the call have E1 individuals that they have contact information for, but I wanted to share. Let me pull this up. Share. I wanted to share my personal contact information. If there is anybody on the call that doesn't have somebody that they can reach out to for further questions or clarifications, whether it's in regards to specifically the release or Extend, or if there is any other support that is needed, please feel free to take my email down here. This is my personal phone number. I know many people are not on the call that are located in America. Obviously, email is going to be easier in those situations, but if you are in America, please feel free to call me as well. And I can help get us connected to the correct people here at E1 that can help answer questions and provide support. So with that, let me just share this. Share this. Okay, apologize for that. Gosh. And awesome. So just in closing here, apologize for the challenges. I wanted to remind everyone that a link to this recording will be available shortly after we close the webinar. Please do feel free to share that with anyone who would find the conversation helpful. And again, if you'd like to have a more detailed discussion, if you have contact information for any one employee, feel free to reach out to them directly, or if you don't, you can go back in the recording to my contact information. Please feel free to reach out. And lastly, we will be at Workday Rising in Las Vegas. If you will be planning on attending Rising in Vegas, we'll be at day 33 in Section B. Again, that's B33, Section B. Please come by and say hello. Our leadership team will be there. I'll be there. We'd love to meet you in person and just further discuss our practice practice and how we're helping customers today. But with that, thank you again for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.